Hey everybody, it's Eric, 80s Horror Man here, and welcome to day 10 for my 31 Days of Horror. Today I'll be doing a movie that was done in 2009, and it's a remake, and that's The Last House on the Left. Now, this is a remake from the 1972 horror classic done by Wes Craven. I did end up watching this remake in the theaters, and the funny thing is, I was the only one in that theater room to see this movie here alone in that theater room, and there was no one else in that theater room but me. So it's happened to me before a couple of times watching a movie in the theaters when you're the only one in that theater room by yourself and no one else is there. So anyway, this movie is about where after a girl is assaulted and left for dead in the woods, her attackers end up taking shelter at a parent's home during a rainstorm. But when the daughter shows up on their porch, the parents realize that here's what has happened to their daughter. They decide to take matters into their own hands and plot revenge against their daughter's attackers. So this movie starts off with the police escorting a dangerous killer. Then they get to a railroad crossing. All of a sudden, someone crashes into the police car, and turns out it's the killer's girlfriend and his brother. They end up freeing the killer. They end up killing the cops, especially the killer taking the seatbelt to one of the cops, wrapping around his neck and pushing his head down, making the cop choke to death with a seatbelt wrapped around his neck. Then it gets to the family, the mom, the daughter, and the father getting to their summer home in the woods. Then the daughter decides to go over see a friend who works at a grocery store. They end up meeting this kid saying, "Hey, I got some drugs if you let me buy a pack of cigarettes." So, fair trade. He gets the cigarettes, he gives them the drugs. All of a sudden, that's when the killer, his girlfriend, and his brother walk into the same hotel room, and turns out that they were hanging out with the killer's son. Then the girls get taken hostage. One of the girls tried to make an escape out of the vehicle because they were close to her summer home where her parents are. The vehicle crashes, it gets all banged up to shit. Everyone's hurting. And next you know, one of the girls gets stabbed by the killer and his brother. And then the girl gets raped by the killer. She ends up making her escape. She runs to the lake and tries to swim to get away, but the killer ends up shooting her in the back of the right shoulder, and then she's just floating in the lake. Then the the attackers ends up taking shelter at the girl's house where her parents are during a rainstorm. So they get there. Here the father and the mother here are having a nice conversation with the killers, but they don't know who they are, and they don't know that their daughter was recently raped. They have them stay in the guest house. And next, you know, the parents end up hearing this banging on the porch. The daughter shows up, and all of a sudden, that's when they realize that what has happened to their daughters, saying that their daughter was raped, and they decided to plot revenge against her, the attackers who end up attacking their daughter and raping her. So overall, this is a movie that was actually very fun to watch. I actually enjoyed this remake. I definitely like this a lot better than the original, even I've seen the original a couple of times, but I definitely like this remake a lot better. The music to it was actually very good. It's very intense, keeps you on your toes. So this is like a mixture of horror and suspense. It does have both versions of the movie, the theatrical and the unrated version of this movie. So where it does have special features. It just has deleted scenes and a look inside featurette. That's pretty much about it for the special features on this. So overall, out of possible 10, I give this movie here a 9 out of 10 because this was actually a very good remake. And again, I know some people may like the original better than the remake, but I definitely just like the remake a lot better than the original, even though I've seen the original a couple of times. So, Last House on the Left from 2019. definitely recommend it for those who hasn't seen it. But if you have seen it, then you know what I'm talking about. Alright guys, so that's it for day 10 for my 31 Days of Horror. What you guys think? If you've seen this movie before, which version of the movie do you like better? The remake or the original? Please let me know in the comments down below. Also, like and subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for some more videos for the 31 Days of Horror. Later.